This is the most abstract zoo I have ever been to. The room is filled with iron-plated wooden boards. The bodies floating in the fish tanks are covered with serious leech infestation. Vomit-inducing fish. This video can effectively raise your low blood pressure. Let's experience it together. Fuzhou Zoo is the largest zoo in Fujian province. It covers 55 hectares. That is equivalent to 2 Singapore zoos from the last video. Tickets cost 30 yuan. The most noticeable thing is the row of original fish tanks. Let's see what they are raising. Who threw fish bones under the sashimi? Everything is broken. It turns out the other fish are living normally while these look ghost-like. To be honest, feeding goldfish like this is really unbelievable. They are too thin, almost raised like scraps. Some of them are even blind. They are infected with bacteria. Let's move on. Here is a reminder. When you come to Fuzhou Zoo, I highly recommend taking the sightseeing bus, 10 yuan. It's really not expensive. Walking up and down the mountain here is too tiring, because this zoo is built on a small mountain. The entire park is divided into the south area and the north area. The complexity of the terrain may be the highest among domestic zoos. The advantage of this is also obvious. Because it's built in the mountains, the greenery is extremely abundant. With the excellent local climate, the scenery is beautiful and very suitable for raising animals. But the reality is, let's go to the south area first and look at the beasts. This abandoned storage shed is the serval's room. This should be the most miserable serval I have ever seen. It looks thin, its eyes have no brightness, and it always lies still. If it didn't move at all, I wouldn't even know it was alive. But why doesn't it move? Look, broken wind block boards. The enclosure is stacked with wooden boards unrelated to windproofing. Each wooden board has several rusty nails. Are they afraid this active serval might hurt its feet? Are they trying to limit its movement? I really don't understand why these remains were thrown into the exhibit. And the back door of the serval enclosure is also locked. It's right in front of its feet. If the door isn't opened, it can only lie like this. Let's look at the serval at Xining Wildlife Zoo for comparison. First of all, people say the serval enclosure in Xining is not big. But I feel that although small, it is well maintained. A zoo should at least maintain a basic standard. The serval in Xining is like a pampered child. Look at its fur. You can easily tell if an animal is healthy. It even photographs well on camera. But video files from cameras are quite large. Compared to the serval that barely moves, the wolf here is extremely active. Look at it circling like crazy. An inexperienced visitor may think it's happy. In fact, this behavior is called stereotypic behavior. It means the animal repeats one action over and over. Its personality becomes dull. To put it bluntly, it reflects psychological problems. Look at it. It's so big. Even our own dogs wouldn't be locked in cages all day. Even the Chongqing Zoo I complained about before has an enclosure much larger than this. Look at the wolf enclosures in a normal zoo. This one is at Wild Zoo. There is no crazy circling. And the area is at least adequate. Wolves are social animals. Here, it is alone. And the space is so small. No wonder it has gone crazy. In addition to the wolf's stereotypic behavior, the lions are also in bad condition. Can't you see the lions? Here, the 2 lions keep repeating the same action. They don't come out. Clearly another case of stereotypic behavior. And the problem is very serious. They look like 2 robots repeatedly crossing each other's path. Don't confuse them, the left one is still a lion. 1 male and 1 female. Their condition is slightly better, but still bad. And the smell in the beast area is extremely strong. I'm not exaggerating, it stinks. Alright, let's leave. I'm basically holding my breath. If you don't believe it, you can experience it yourself. Next, let's look at the amphibian and reptile area. 2 parts. After entering, there is Master Crocodile. The most obvious thing inside is a round viewing pool. It has existed for a long time. Inside is a very skinny crocodile. Its entire body is obviously thin. Its neck droops. There are many wounds on its snout. The conditions of the 2 enclosures next to it are also terrible. One looks like an abandoned toilet. One looks like a bathhouse and used for 20 years. The ground is full of mold. It looks like everything has been eaten away by insects. This crocodile is a national first-class protected species. Even the otters are starving. I just reviewed the Singapore Zoo video in the last episode. They also have otters. Let's take a look. The whole enclosure is surrounded by a huge glass wall. All the plants inside are real plants. Below is circulating water. They can swim in it. Visitors can clearly observe the otters underwater. By the way, the glass is not just one pane, it's a laminated double-layer waterproof design. Otters can climb up and bask in the sun. The enclosure is not very large, but the layout is reasonable. Some people may compare Fuzhou Zoo ticket 30 yuan, Singapore Zoo ticket over 200 yuan. Of course, Singapore does better. This is the Shanghai Zoo with a 40 yuan ticket. Their otter enclosure and crocodile enclosure. Look at the area. It's larger than the Singapore Zoo enclosure that costs more than 200 yuan. And Shanghai Zoo even has a small crocodile area with natural light and a pond. What does that show? Ticket price is only one factor. The intention and dedication of the zoo is another. Next, let's look at the reptile section here. You can't see anything because the glass is unclear. Who can see anything clearly? The glass is full of scratches and fog. There is even a heart-shaped smudge on it. Who knows what the zoo is raising inside? Everything is mosaic-like. One enclosure is blurrier than the next. One is dirtier than the other. So you can't see the animal's condition at all. The exhibition hall is very dim. It's really uncomfortable to stay long. Let's go outside. There is a very rare bird in the north area. You can still ride the small cart here, otherwise the slopes are too tiring. The White Bird Park is built on a steep mountain slope. The entire area is covered with a huge net. There are many big trees inside. The most common bird here is the Indian blue peacock, which breeds in large numbers in China. It may seem ordinary, but at least it's not kept in tiny cages. But here comes the problem. The peacock outside is free, yet this one is locked in a cage. Are they afraid it might escape? Just walk up to the fence. Forget it, let's just look at the biggest enclosure. Inside is a Malaysian great hornbill, the one with the big casque on its head. When I mentioned it to friends, they all replied. It's extremely rare in Chinese zoos. Let me put it this way, even the powerful Guangzhou chimelong doesn't have it. What's even more unbelievable is that they have white-tailed rhinoceros hornbills here. Whoever said the beak was broken? This species lives in the Malay Peninsula. It's a true hornbill species of Sumatra and Borneo, critically endangered in the wild. Besides these, there are several pairs of double-wattled cassowaries near the enclosure. Note, several pairs. I was shocked. Is Fuzhou Zoo really that powerful? The real story is, in 2020, Fujian Customs seized a batch of smuggled wildlife, cassowaries, Malaysian hornbills, and many others. These animals were later transferred to Fuzhou Zoo for breeding. What we see now are those animals. It's truly ironic. Such valuable animals, yet the zoo conditions cannot support them. If the birds could speak, they would probably complain even more. Let's continue. Around the area are several more cages. Please allow me to call them cages, because they truly are. To be honest, the cages haven't even been opened yet. Inside are red-bellied parrots, rainbow lorikeets, monk parakeets, Alexandrine parrots, all beautiful bird species. But there is no beauty visible. Even ordinary visitors cannot see them clearly. The mesh is too dense. I had to switch to manual focus, and even then it took a long time to capture a photo. The best birds in this zoo are still the wild ones outside. They are everywhere. Fuzhou Zoo seems obsessed with iron cages. The aviary cages are even denser. You can't see anything. This zoo exhausts me, physically and mentally. First, the road is hard to walk. Second, the animal displays are poor. Of course, the north area is much better than the south area. At least some animals are in better condition. These are the best enclosures I found in the entire park. I'll share them with you. The first one is the small mammals. First of all, their enclosure plants are particularly good. Several large branches hang like big umbrellas. The small mammals wander around here, finding food and shelter under the umbrellas. It really resembles their natural environment. As I said at the beginning, the geographical environment of this zoo is very good. Plants grow well here. Even without special landscaping, it looks beautiful. If done properly, this place could be unique. In addition, the environment for the white leopard cat is good. Guess what animal this is? It's actually a leucistic leopard cat. The normal colored one is next to it. The contrast is very strong. This enclosure continues the open design of the small mammals. Natural light, randomly growing vegetation, that's enough. Much better than the iron bar enclosures in the south area. One of the most surprising areas is the hippopotamus enclosure. Logically, it should stink. But it doesn't stink at all. Shocking. The beast area in the south stinks terribly, but the hippos in the north are clean and tidy. Even the water is flowing. As you can see through the lens, the water is very clean. These are basically all the decent enclosures. Overall, the north area is much better than the south. It barely meets the passing standard. Meanwhile, the reptiles and beasts in the south area can only be described as abstract. In short, if you come here to hike and enjoy the scenery, I highly recommend it. If you come to see animals, you might as well observe wild birds on the mountain. Next episode, Singapore Bird Park. Let's also check out the lions, tigers, and eagles of Black Cat Camp next time.